Ever had a task that needed to be done, and no matter how complex or simple it was, you overthink it? Or what about when you made a mistake on a test and you realize you did, but it's too late to go back and fix it? You overthink that as well. Or when you do something embarrassing out in public and quickly turn around to see if anyone is watching you, and you begin to overthink that as well. Why is this the case? Has our brain inherently become more aware, or are we all just like overcomplicating things to the point that our brain gets overwhelmed for no reason? We love to overthink the simplest things because it helps us comprehend more, or at least we think it does. But you must understand that there are limits that when we do cross can lead to a decline, and overthinking is no exception to this rule. According to Forbes, from age 25 to 35, 75% suffer from chronic overthinking, and the numbers worsen when we look at the age groups below. Overthinking is a complex topic that is difficult to adjust and fix for a reason, but everyone is so different, and there's not one set solution on how to fix this problem. It's unique to each individual. For example, overthinking can come from a person who is a perfectionist, who wants to do everything possible to their expectation, and drifting from that can lead to second guessing and to thinking excessively on how to fix things that may or may not be in their control, while another person may overthink because of how uncertain life can be. And I'm here to tell you that's okay. It's human to feel uncertain about the actions that need to be done tomorrow or even the next hour. And it's human to overthink small things that make us go down the deep rabbit hole, but you mustn't stay there for too long. Overthinking about a past action drowns the mind in a state of constantly consuming the same information with no different outcome. And being in that hole for too long isn't good for anyone, and especially not you. If you even overthink the future, you're just making your brain do excess work for something that hasn't even happened yet, and there's no good in that. I'm telling you to not dwell about the past nor think about the future, because constantly being in the state where you overthink like that becomes very negative. Well, you might be asking me through the screen, what if I'm overthinking the present moment? How can that obsession become more like a hobby? And to that I say, you must decompress in order to stop your brain from overheating. Being obsessed about something you cannot fix or something that hasn't happened makes for a disaster that your brain doesn't necessarily need and becomes pointless. So try staying in the present, and that is the true answer to stop the overthinking. Gen Z, yes you, just be able to live day by day with your brain being able to comprehend the now with your thoughts about the future and the past, and not being able to go to the extreme lengths where both time periods are on your mind. Even if the present stresses you out, allow yourself to take this deep breath and understand what can you fix now to stop your overthinking. If you're overthinking about a certain task or action that can be done now, that hasn't happened yet in the future or has already happened in the past, but something you can change now, be sure to do it, because if you don't, the overthinking, overlingering thoughts dwell on your mind, and dwelling is not good, especially when it's repetitive for such a long time. You must find balance. Balance is what keeps everything in check within your mind, and when we find balance in our mind, we begin to lessen the overthinking and become more conscious about the present rather than the past and future. Nowadays, overthinking has become more of a normal practice, and is seen as common, but it should not be, because overthinking leads to more negative than positive, and this is no good for you, the person watching. We shouldn't try and be obsessed with constantly running the same negative thoughts over in our head, especially when we overthink something we cannot change. Then, only then does overthinking become dangerous. Instead, you want to think about things that are happening in the present and can be changed. And I'm here to tell you that overthinking is a lot less important than you think. Many people that think that overthinking allows our brain to function more at a productive level is a thing, but it's just not. It's quite the opposite. I'm not a doctor, but I'm a human, so I can speak to the emotions that come with overthinking, and it's almost never positive. Be able to control your thoughts and don't let it dwell on you, because dwelling can possibly ruin a whole day or even week. Be present with your thoughts and keep moving forward. Although, for some, stressing and overthinking can feel good, especially when overthinking about something that isn't inherently bad. Like when we overthink a text message, it isn't necessarily negative because it fades away after a couple minutes or hours or when the person responds. Though, when we're constantly repeating that short term overthinking over and over again, which is what we seem to be doing a lot these days, it can be draining. Instead, putting your phone down and putting your head down, or even closing your eyes, will lighten up your brain. I've done this for a couple minutes and felt the pressure lifted off of me, and my brain begins to do this soft reset after hours upon hours of constantly thinking. You just need time to brace back and be able to be in the present. And if you don't even try to fix the overthinking, you will suffer from something called analysis paralysis. And this is when a situation gets overanalyzed to the point where the options and information becomes too much and it's something the brain can't even handle. We often feel stuck in overthinking, and that mindset becomes normal because we don't want to do something wrong in the present, so our brain tries to get all of the options lined up. But lining up so many options, even the options that are too extreme, can make our thinking become more like a workout than an actual productive thought. You need to overcome this problem. It's something that has plagued this generation, and it's not easy, but start doing some exercises, physically or mentally, and open up your brain to the thought of thinking less, and slowly but surely you will be able to start seeing the productivity in your life increase, as overthinking and procrastination are heavily interlinked. Overthinking allows us to weigh options to do an action or complete a task, but our brain makes us believe we need more time to decide on what we should do, such as doing homework. The mind often weighs out options that outweigh the homework that needs to be done, such as to make you feel more positive in your emotion for certain options, such as being on your phone or resting in bed instead of doing the homework, because that's what our brain believes is more relaxing and better for our body, and obviously our brain is going to lean towards doing the more relaxing thing. Overthinking does good for no one, especially when it's holding you back, and I feel it can be very detrimental to growth. You must be able to handle and calm yourself down when your mind starts to wander repetitively, and be able to focus on the present, because I feel this is a good cure for overthinking and it will lessen the stress that comes from it. So, what you can take away from this video is stop roaming mentally. Be mindful with yourself as if you're just living in the moment, because you are. Be conscious about what you're thinking about and make a decision right there and then, and ask yourself, if what you're thinking about can be solved easily. If no, then don't think about it. And if yes, try and get it done. And if your thought is not about a task but more about worrying, you shouldn't dwell but rather reflect for a moment and move on. I strongly believe that overthinking kills dreams, and this is the unfortunate problem that most of us have. In a way, that overthinking has allowed generations to become more self-insufficient because overthinking has become so common, even though it's very unhealthy. But it's not too late to change. It's never too late to change how you even think. Being able to think in a way that will affect your life in a positive manner is what this video solution is all about. It's about making sure your thoughts are able to allow you to be more productive rather than not being. Not overthinking is pretty hard, and it does take time. And you know what? Overthinking will keep happening over and over again, no matter how much effort you make to stop the overthinking. But as long as you take the time and effort to actually try and stop the negative repetition of thoughts, you're doing enough. More than enough in my eyes, because you're actively trying to change your mind in order to have more positive experiences in your own body, which is oftentimes disregarded. I hope I did a good job with this video essay so that you're able and willing to subscribe to my channel. My goal is to be a full-time YouTuber, and if you subscribe, you're pushing me closer to that goal. So please hit the sub button, and I will be back with another video. Bye for now.